Hello, Facebook friend. You came here for a reason, and that's because you want to change your life. And that's one of the things I want to help people with. So let's get to it. Thank you for stopping by. My name's Michelle, and I want to encourage you tonight. There's so much to be discouraged about in this world, or to be sad about, or disappointed in, or feel defeated with, or just plain depressed about. There's a lot of hard things going on. Life is hard sometimes. And I'm not denying that. There is truly hardships in this world. There are truly hardships in this world that we have to face every day. And so when I am speaking to you, I want you to hear my heart that I do understand there are hard things, but I also want to speak truth to you. And that is about the importance of being thankful. God's word actually says that we are not to be anxious for anything or in anything, but by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And it goes on to say how when we do this, He will give us peace. And then it even goes on to say how we need to think the right things, like think about what is just, think about what is true, think about what is noble. And it goes on. So it's really cool how verse 6 is in the middle of other verses, like actually verse 4, I think, is rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. So this is all about changing your thoughts, changing your mind, and being joyful in the Lord. So one of the things that my daughter actually has on her wall, it says, there's always, always, always something to be thankful for. So it's a great encouragement to remind us of the importance of being thankful. And because God's word says that, there's a reason for it. So I want to just share with you something that I've been doing for years is keeping a thankful journal. And what prompted me to do that was reading the book 1,000 Gifts by Ann Voskamp. So if you've never heard of it or you've not heard of her, go look up Ann Voskamp, the book 1,000 Gifts. And in there she talks about the importance of having a thankful heart. And so what I did was I took her Joy Dare Challenge, where she gives you a prompt every day of the 3 things to be thankful for. And so I've been doing that for now like 12 plus years. And every year I end up with 1,000 things that I've been thankful for. And it's not just a good feeling, it really changes my attitude. And that's what I want to speak to, is that I could tell you to go take a bath and relax, or breathe deep and just, relax, or go listen to some good music, or go take a walk. And all of those things have a place and are valid things to do. But that's not what I'm speaking about tonight. I'm speaking specifically about having a grateful heart. And I'll speak to those other things later, but I am not going to tell you to start scrolling mindlessly. I'm not going to tell you to go get a snack and sit down and chill and sit in front of a TV and watch television mindlessly. I want to encourage you in something that's going to really make a difference. And this isn't just about positive thinking. This is truly about doing something simple that God commands us to do in His Word to keep us in His peace. And so it's kind of cool because it's so simple. And so what I'll do at night before I lay down or before I go to bed is I'll pull out my thankful journal and I'll think of things that happened through the day that I have to be thankful for. And quite frankly, I heard someone say recently about how sometimes you feel like you have nothing to be thankful for, but just the breath that you're taking in has so many good things for your body in it that's something to be thankful for. So start there. Start with the breath that you're breathing in, the air, the blessing that God gives you to breathe another breath. What you can see with your eyes, if you have that blessing. What you can taste. There's so many things to be thankful for. So I just want to share a story with you about how I was learning to have a thankful heart. Years ago, I was the guardian to my older sister who was handicapped and had special needs. And she lived in a group home, but I was able to kind of help direct some of the things, or make sure she was eating healthier, or make sure she had the necessities she needed and things that she wanted. And so I would be driving to her place and I would be getting stressed. I wasn't her favorite sister. She did not like that I had guardianship over her. And so she wasn't always pleasant when I'd come around, even though I would try to do the best for her. Then that's neither here nor there. What I'm trying to say is that when I was driving there one night, I noticed that my stress level was getting high, that I was feeling nervous and anxious about going there and just dealing with her. And I decided, God's word tells me to be thankful. So I just prayed for my time with her. And I started thanking him for everything that I could think of. And it included my steering wheel and the gas I had in the car, and that my tires were running, working right, and just the simplest little things. But you know what it did? It changed my mind. It changed my thought process. I was thinking of thanking God for what he had blessed me with. And it really, truly gave me peace. By the time I got to her place, I was not anxious. I was not stressed. I was calm. And so I say all this to say that this is not just a feel-good, positive thinking kind of thing to do. This is a true way to get God's peace in your heart. And who doesn't want God's peace in their heart? So I'm just going to encourage you to get a journal, and I'm going to show you what my journal looks like here in a minute. Okay, so here is what my thankful journal looks like. I have laminated the Joy Dare. I don't know if you can see that through there, but it starts with January, and I've just got it twist tied on there because I take it off this year and I'll put it on next year, just like I took it from last year and put it on this year. And then we've got February and March, and it just keeps going. And then on the front, I just put the year right here. And I also put thankful journal because this is my thankful journal. And I put with God, all. I underlined all things are possible. It's incredible what happens when you believe God's word. And so then, I know it doesn't match, but I thought it was really pretty, a gift bag that had torn. And I used part of it, instead of throwing it away, I used part of it and glued it on the back of my book, just because I thought it was pretty. And so I'm just going to give you an example of Ann Voskamp's prompts from the Joy Dare. And I may have a link down below how you can get a copy of this to print off for yourself. But let's say, hold on, today is March the 3rd, and 3 gifts wore. So 3 gifts that you've worn. This shirt would be one for me. This morning I took a walk and I wore a scarf. It was still pretty chilly. I wore a scarf that was able to hold my phone in it while I was walking, so that the way I folded it up, it held my phone anyway. And so I would say my scarf so that I could hear my Bible, that I was listening to as I was walking. And my tennis shoes. I have some tennis shoes that I like to wear when I'm walking, and so that would be like 3 things that I would write in it. But I just want to say that this has been life-changing for me. And that's what I'm saying. There's so many little simple things that you can do. How hard is it to go out and buy a cheap journal and write in it for a few minutes every night to change your heart and your mind and your thoughts and your life. So I want to encourage you in this, and I hope that it would be something that you could see how simple it is and doable it is. And so I'm just going to encourage you to do the next thing. Have a blessed